Welcome to the training for the Pavelli Strong model semi-trailer. The first thing to do before using the semi-trailer is to activate it using the battery isolator switch, which is located here at the front, by turning it to the on position. To operate the hydraulic parts, you need to connect the 3 front hydraulic hoses and activate the tractor's pump. To move the semi-trailer, we need to remove the 4 pins. For the semi-trailer, we need to remove the 4 pins. Alright, now you can stay at the front of the vehicle. Please keep a very close eye on the winch hook at all times to make absolutely sure it doesn't touch or snag on anything nearby. It is vital to remain vigilant while the equipment is active. This moving platform is exceptionally capable and robust, designed to handle heavy loads with precision, but it requires your full attention to operate safely and effectively throughout the entire process of lifting up to 20 tons. The height of the loading platform, when fully lowered, is 42 centimeters. There are also these recesses with removable inserts to lower it even further, down to 25 centimeters from the ground. Now let's proceed with extending the semi-trailer. The first thing to do is to brake the rear axles using this button. I need to lift this lever. To ensure maximum safety during this operation, I press this specific control button to release the heavy-duty locking pins for the extension. Now that the pins are disengaged, the semi-trailer is completely free to begin its extension process. This is exactly what it looks like once the semi-trailer has been fully extended to its maximum length. Obviously, there are intermediate positions, intermediate placements. There are holes every 50 centimeters. The extension ranges from 0 to 3 meters, with 6 steps of 50 centimeters each. To lock the extension, that is, to lock the pins into the corresponding holes, I pull this green lever. At the moment, the pins are not fully seated, but you just need to reverse slightly with the tractor to carefully adjust the components to align the holes precisely and get the lock-in pins to engage securely. Go on, keep going, make sure to rest it properly in its place. Okay, that looks absolutely perfect. Now, slowly raise the moving platform just a little bit higher. Once you have done that, you will need to navigate over to page 2 of the manual to find the next set of instructions. In this specific operational situation, I have the capability to even load a substantial chassis, such as an Iveco Daily, onto the platform. I can carefully position and load the main cab area here at the very front of the trailer, and then I am able to efficiently lift the entire rear section into place by using the precision remote control system provided with the vehicle. There are also these supports in case of heavy loads. In any case, the cylinders have their own locking valve and have no trouble bearing the weight. This is an extra safety feature that locks onto the arch point. To use the front winch, I have the option to release the cable so I can unwind it easily. In this case, I've released it. Okay, perfect. I'm going to lock it again, pull so the clutch engages. There it is, it's engaged. Now I can go back to working with the remote control. This is a 10-ton winch, while the rear winch is 5.25 tons. Here too, there's a release clutch to quickly unwind a cable. On this particular semi-trailer, there are 4 quick-release air couplings, designed for ease of use and efficient connection. The standard pressure output from these couplings is set at 8 bar as standard. However, there is also an optional version available that provides a higher pressure of 12 bar for specific needs. This here is a 24-volt electrical connection plug, which in this specific instance is utilised for powering the overhanging load sign. The overhanging load sign itself is considered one of the optional extras that can be fitted to the trailer as required. With the remote control, I can operate certain functions of the roll bar, such as the work lights. I can raise the bar using this lever located on the side of the semi-trailer. It lifts pneumatically. going higher than the cab, and I can also switch it on via the remote control. Both the bar at the top and the flashes on the side of the roll bar light up. The bar's a standard feature of the roll bar. These stainless steel side wires with flashes are an optional extra. If the remote control is not available, you can use these manual controls from the distributor, which is located just below, operated by this onboard computer called the smart board. Several functions are available. One of the most important is being able to view the load on each axle, which at the moment is 3.93 tons on the last two axles. The first axle is shown as lifted at the moment. I can also choose between 3 different ride heights. The semi-trailer is delivered at the standard ride height, which is the middle one, number 1. Right now, it's showing me that we're at height number 1. From this page, I can select the other 2 heights. I can lower the semi-trailer by 3 centimeters. This will be the new travel ride height, so when I level the suspension using the remote control, it will level itself to the height I've set here on this computer. So in this case, I select number 2, which is the lowest. From this page, I can also select number 4, which is the highest height. So 1 is the standard, 2 is 3 centimeters lower, and 4 is the highest, 3 centimeters higher. I can also lower the axle if I need to, but with Pavelli vehicles, you can always lower the axle. With the load sensors, yes, but you can also do it by pressing the tractor's brake pedal 3 times. Yes, like with all of them. Perfect. And the important thing is that the tractor's handbrake is released. You can also view the temperature of the tyres, but this is something you can already do directly from the tractor's display if the tractor is a latest generation model. With this OptiTyre function, it's currently showing me the tyre pressure. What should the tyre pressure be? 9 bars. It says so on this second page where it shows the reference pressures. 9 is indicated for all the tyres. This heavy-duty semi-trailer is comprehensively outfitted with a sophisticated VSE hydraulic steering system, and it also features its own dedicated handheld remote control unit. For executing complex, low-speed navigational maneuvers, the system is first activated by simply pressing the on button. Right at this moment, I am manually steering the trailer wheels directly using the remote control. Now I am carefully turning them back the other way to demonstrate the precision. There you go, it works perfectly. I no longer have any need to manually operate the remote control. Instead, I simply press the off button on the interface, and the system immediately and automatically begins to align itself perfectly with the tractor's 5th wheel assembly with great precision. To prepare the semi-trailer for loading and unloading, the first thing to do is to fully lower the suspension. So I switch on the remote control by pressing both green buttons at the same time, and at this point I can lower the suspension using the red symbols, so page 2. The remote control is connected to the semi-trailer when I see the semi-trailer flashing. The first thing I need to do to operate the rear ramps is to completely remove the bar at the rear. First, we detach the boards for protruding loads, so the flashing light that Maurizio is now removing is part of the protruding load board kit, which includes these flashing lights and the 2 boards with lights. Exactly, that's right, this part. These 2 safety pins need to be removed. Just pull and slide out this little hook. Now let's remove these 2 pins. We can then throw them into the drawer. Take the bar by these 2 handles and lift it up vertically. You can rest it on the ground, it stands on its own. I could already move the ramps even with these mounted, but now let's remove them just to clear all the space to slide them outwards. However, stop at the end of the first slide, always the ramps without the rear bar attached. With that bar mounted, push out the second slide, break the bar, and the bar must be the first and last thing, the first thing you remove and the last thing you install. We've pulled out the first slide. As you can see, the bar's attachment point is here, so the bar can remain connected back here. In this case, on the 3-axle semi-trailer, we have an extra 1 meter and 30 centimeters of loading surface length. In this position, it can travel, there are no problems. Yes, because for transporting vehicles, for example in Italy, it can travel like this. That's 12% more than the length of the convoy, so 1 meter and 98 centimeters in this case. The first ramp slide, due to technical reasons, the cylinder slides allow you to reach 1 meter and 30, but you still have the option to extend the load even further, since the bar is low and doesn't interfere with the load. Right, now what do we do? Let's lift the ramps, reconnect the remote control, which went into standby after 2 minutes. Okay, go on. Perfect. Now, what's important during the loading phase is to make sure this crossbar rests on the ground. In addition to lowering the semi-trailer's suspension, to improve the loading angle, I can also raise the tractor's suspension. So, for support reasons, this bar must be resting on the ground. Once I've set this bar down on the ground, I go and extend the last section. Stop when you see they're well supported. Go on, a bit more. Keep going. Okay, there you go. This is a loading situation. The thing is, it depends on the ground. Because right now, the concrete is like this. We've lowered the semi-trailer, but we haven't raised the tractor. So because there's that hole there, yes, of course. But this tilt here also depends a lot on how the ground is set up. Because then, as a result, the ramps will be affected how steep they are, you see. What should I do now, for example, to bring the ramps closer? I should go and raise the tractor suspension, then the semi-trailer will do this. Shall we do it? Alright, because they need to be moved here. Yes,